What you're at right now is the Wells Fargo Empowerment Panel, and today's events are sponsored by Sprint, 90.1 WNAA, and of course Wells Fargo. We'd like to open our program today with a poem from Josephus. Josephus, I'm sorry.
See, most don't see we are the present manifesting daily. Timelines like highways, stars like roadmaps to galaxies. So here I stand on father's legs, embraced by mother's arms, held by grandfather's faded memory. You see, God's creative energy guides me, so map personal destination, resist limitations, record now, red light on, race towards the light, shape your future and grow. Blossom, begin, become, fight, live, learn. You see, today is your testimony. My faith, your foundation, so pray for passion. Live like your soul depended on it, because it does. Love like there's no tomorrow, because there's not. But I promise you, we do have now. Fashioned from freedom, fleeing from fear, we insist on inspiration, find laughter and light, determination in darkness, so I dare you to dream. You see, we deliver greatness in gears, so shift, clutch, gas, go. Rhythm is my reason, reflection my reference, I teleport possibility.
All right, now we're here at the 4G Competitive Edge HBCU Tour, and are y'all ready to get this started? Okay, I heard it from the front row. Are we ready to get this started? Students, you have them name tags on for a reason. I know you ready to get this started, right? All right, y'all not trying to get a job. Okay. Are y'all ready? Does anybody know what Aggie Pride is in here? Are we Aggies? Do we, any alumni in the building? All right. What about, all right, I'll see you in the back right there. All right, can I get an Aggie Pride? Aggie Pride. Aggie Pride. Aggie Pride. All right, let's get this thing started. I'm one of your moderators for this lovely afternoon. I'm Todd Porter, also serving as your Mr. North Carolina A&T State University for the 2010-2011 academic school year, and I'm also a JOMC student. So shout out to Journalism, Mass Communication Department.
And I'm also your co-moderator for today. I'm Joseph Escobar. I'm a senior broadcast production major from Montclair, and we have a very powerful panel today. These people have some very interesting stories on how they got where they are, how they started, and I'm telling you the information today that they're going to give you is going to be so valuable. So I encourage you all to take notes, write stuff down, send out a Twitter message or a Facebook, tell your friends to come, because the information today is going to be great. We have a powerful panel, and at this time, I would like to acknowledge the JOMC department, Dr. Wickham and Ms. Wiggins. Everybody give them a round of applause. As well as 90.1 WNAA, D. Cherie, and Zima, Mr. Tony Wellborn. And give a hand to yourselves, the students. I appreciate you all for coming out today. And all graduates coming up in May. Yeah, so at this time we'd like to introduce our panel. Coming up first, we have Tammy Green, known as with Jazz Diva Entertainment. She's a jazz announcer at WGIV and WSGE in Charlotte. Tammy.
Chivalry isn't dead, fellas. Chivalry isn't dead. All right, next we have producer Walter Latham of Latham Entertainment, founded in 1992 by Mr. Walter Latham. Latham Entertainment is widely regarded as the most successful comedy production company in the nation. He worked with such artists as Tyler Perry, Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, Monique, and countless others. Students, have you heard anything called of the original Kings of Comedy? Y'all know anything about that? That's him. Although his impact in the comedy industry is huge, it pales in comparison to the dedication to his nonprofit, the Walter Latham Foundation. The foundation provides college scholarships to deserving young students and sponsors numerous community events. College scholarships, and community events. This man is really big. Let's welcome Mr. Walter Latham.
Coming up next, we also have Rasheem Kilopu from Save the Arts Awards. He's worked with Quincy Jones, Pepsi, Lauryn Hill, Faith, LL Cool J, and the list goes on. Rasheem Kilopu, everybody give a round of applause.
Next, we have actress Angelique Perrin from CAF Mocha, radio TV personality, producer, and voice actress, former voice of BET's Comic View, The Keenan Ivory Wayne Show, Hollywood reporter for BET and Hard Copy, cartoons such as The Rugrats, All Grown Up, and currently a Master Jedi of Star Wars, The Clone Wars. TV roles include recurring roles such as Lincoln Heights, writer and producer of CAF Mocha and The Countdown with Walt Baby Love, Miss Angelique Perrin.
Coming up next from Icon Magazine, we have Charles P. Taylor. He's a media and entertainment entrepreneur, interned and worked with major companies in the industry, including Sony Music, Atlantic Records, Def Jam, Hidden Beach. He's also with allhiphop.com. He worked in television and hosted a college radio show here at WNAA and published magazines and has also published in college newspapers. Everybody give it up for Charles P. Taylor.
Next, we have record executive Charles Whitfield of Hidden Beach Recordings. He is responsible for a variety of key areas for the Hidden Beach recordings, including retail sales, artist relations, and corporate outreach, among others. Prior to joining Hidden Beach Recordings, Whitfield served as assistant manager at Northwest Financial, a Fortune 500 consumer finance company. In '96, he was the leader in the business development sales in his district, outdistancing his closest competitor by over $400,000. Mr. Charles Whitfield.
Up next, we have magazine executive Audra Washington from Urban Miss Magazine. Audra.
Also, a Bennett Bell. Shout out to the Bennett Bells in here. Next, we have filmmaker and Bennett College for Women instructor, Dr. Yvonne Wilbon. Department chair and assistant professor in the Journalism and Media Studies Department at Bennett College for Women. Award-winning independent filmmaker and freelance producer. Since 1991, she has made 8 films and produced a dozen others. Introducing Dr. Yvonne Wilbon. Next, we have Mr. Peter Olson, marketing management of the whole Piedmont area for Wells Fargo. He works with college and membership and has 10 years of sales and in the top 10% of every position he's ever had. Mr. Peter Olson.
And that completes our panel. Now, I'm pretty sure at a point in time, everybody on this panel was sitting in the exact same seats that a lot of these students here are sitting in. How did you get started? Like, what were you doing at this time in your life when you were in college? Anybody can start.
I didn't go to college.
Okay.
Would you like me to elaborate?
Yes, you can elaborate.
I went to East Carolina I was planning on playing basketball, which was the only thing I thought I wanted to do when I grew up. And I met this girl. Y'all probably can finish the rest of it. And she got pregnant. And so I went one semester and I dropped out. I moved to Greensboro when I was 19, and I started working at American Express. And the biggest event that happened when I first worked at American Express is I had health insurance, so I could take care of my son. And that's kind of what I was doing early on in my life, right around your age. I don't want to keep going because I might get ahead of myself, but that's pretty much where I began as far as being an adult. Cool.
Same question. I started off just listening to the radio. I also didn't go to college. Fell in love with rap music. Tried to figure out ways to do demos through overtime and hustle and bustle. Finally got to New York, and I was invited to be on this artist. His name was Papa Chuck. He was signed to Pendulum Records. And he had all these guys from Texas in the room. And I'm a Jersey boy like you from Montclair. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. And the guy said, hey, man, you got 16? I said, 16? What's that? 16 bars. Can you want to get on this song? I said, yeah, let me get on. And that one verse just jump-started our career. I got on this one song with Papa Chuck, and the word went around, this new guy from Jersey is spitting like fire. Naughty by Nature had just got their deal. So it was like, okay, Jersey was hot for a second. And we got a deal with Quincy Jones on Quest Records in '93. And from there, 95, we did a Pepsi commercial. 96, we did the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And from there, the career was just going and going. And, you know, music, love what I do.
Who's heard of the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill? All right, right. Y'all didn't give this man the credit. How many Grammys is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Grammys? Wow, wow.
He's got a Grammy in his house. Oh, I'm sorry. I remember clearly where I was my senior year in college. I was at North Carolina School of the Arts, and I was walking around the Holiday Inn in a gray polyester suit. So I remember it clearly. I remember the day clear as a bell, theater major, walking back to the back of the restaurant, 2 guys back there, and I'm like, pardon me, would you care for a spot of tea? And they looked at me, and they're like, oh, my God, she's perfect. And they put me on 102 Jams, which had just kicked off, and I did stupid characters for the morning show, and that's kind of where everything began.
Yeah, what were some of those characters?
Well, one of them was Aquanetta. She talked like this. This was the voice of BET for many years, probably before any of you guys was born. I also did a character called Monica. She was a stalker. I do multiple characters, so throughout this, I'm sure I'll hit a whole bunch of them.
They gave you a very brief picture of my background. I am a music industry executive, now magazine publisher. When I was in your shoes or sitting in the seats that you were in at Bennett College, I am a mass comm major, shout out to journalism. Every summer I worked. I'm a native New Yorker. I went home, I worked, and I went to summer school because I wanted to graduate on time. I was not on a 5-year track. It was 4 years. But when I worked in entertainment. I'm considered an entertainment brat. My mother worked at RCA under the original black music department. So I had offers to go back and work with my surrogate uncles and aunts that I met in radio. I worked in music publishing. My first job was at ASCAP. I was on what we would call in entertainment, the lifeline of the entertainment business, and that being performance royalties, copyrights, intellectual properties. It's fine to have the CDs and the music and love music, but if you don't understand the business of music, you will get raped. So congrats to you on Lauryn Hill, but it's the writers that really need to be congratulated because they're the ones that are still getting paid, realistically. But when I was in your shoes, I partied during the summer and I worked. I mean, I took every available internship that there was so that way I can get the experience, and I worked part-time to get that income because my mother wasn't taking care of summer expenses. But that internship is where I learned how to hone my skills. And then when I came back to Bennett, the New Yorkers, we would get our hustle on with the selling of the Krispy Kreme donuts, New York Unlimited Club here at A&T, the parties here at A&T over at Bennett. You know, we would troop down to Morehouse, we would troop up to Hampton, we would troop up to Howard. I was always on the road. So whatever opportunity that exists before you, I recommend and strongly encourage you to take it, because you don't know what opportunity that's going to lead to, and it will also broaden your network of people.
Hi, my name's Yvonne Walden, and when I was a senior, I did not want a job. And I remember everybody going to all those job fairs, and I was like, I'm not going to a job fair. I went to Taiwan. I left this country. I was studying Chinese in college, and I had studied for 2 years, and I wanted to be fluent. And the other thing I did was, in my junior year, okay, I was one of those students that had to send money home. Nobody was sending money to me in college. So my junior year, I realized I really needed to get another job for my senior year so I would have money in the bank when I graduated. And back in those days, if you saved money in the bank, you actually got 20% interest, which is unheard of right now, but those were some good days. Anyway, so the money multiplied really quickly. So I had money to go to Taiwan. And when I was in Taiwan at the age of 23, I started the first English language arts and leisure magazine of its kind in the nation with $300. And I ran it for 5 years. In my 5th year, I went to a publishing conference in Bangkok, and they were talking about video. And I fell in love. I came back to Taipei. We took my magazine and started making it a video zine. And then I was in an accident, and it took me like 5 months to recover. So I came back to America, because I'm like, why am I so far from home? Anyway, so when I came back to the States, I decided to go to graduate school, and I received an MFA in film from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And I didn't know, I knew I wanted to make film and video, but I didn't know what kind I wanted to make. And I went to an experimental film school. It turned out that I became a documentary filmmaker, just because when I was doing the assignments for class, they were documentaries. But the other thing that happened was I was surrounded by artists, and most artists do not have any business sense whatsoever. In the 5 years that I was running my magazine in Chinese, I learned a lot. And so when I was in graduate school, I realized, and also I like being in charge, and the producer is in charge, not the director. So I decided to produce, and that's how I ended up producing 12 films on top of the 8 films that I made myself. And my films have shown anywhere from like PBS to HBO to IFC to Bravo, Sundance Channel. And what I would do is I would find talented people, and I would work with them, and I would make their dreams come true, actually, with a lot of the filmmakers. Anyway, long story short, I am now here in Greensboro at Bennett College for Women, and I'm the chair of the Journalism and Media Studies Department. And it's interesting that that period of my life, over 20 years ago, when I went to Taiwan, ended up coming full circle and me ending up here.
How's everybody doing? All right, so can I get a raise of hand of the students here? Okay, fantastic, that's a large number. I went to Clemson University, so when I was in school, I want to compliment everybody on their illustrious careers. I'm a sales guy, and so my job, or kind of what I was doing when I was in your shoes, is attending events like these. So the first thing I want to do is congratulate you on taking that additional step of attending these things and finding out what people have to say of where they're going in their career, and maybe picking up a couple tips. That's the trick. You can't just sit here and zombie out on us. You got to kind of catch a couple tips or a couple things that you can use in your life. The other thing I'll tell you is, come up and thank these folks who are up here on the panel today. You have 2 Fortune 500 companies here in Sprint and Wells Fargo. Did anyone get a business card of anyone that works for one of those two companies? If you're interested in banking, if you're interested in Sprint, those are the different type of things that you can do, because those were the things that I was doing. Not only attending these events, but then trying to stand out. Because when I look, I see a nice, beautiful crowd of people. But there's a couple people in here who probably could stand out and say, I'm special. And all of you are special, but you just got to sit there and tell us that. You got to show us. Otherwise I just see a crowd of 200 people. So that would be my advice, to attend these events, to make sure to get yourself in front of the guest speakers as much as possible. Try and get business cards, thank them for their time, and you'll really make an impact. So, thank you.
Thank you. For our next questions, we want to address some stuff too. We got skipped over in the middle. It's all good though. All right, we let the ladies go. You want to go? You want to? No, ladies first.
Thanks a lot. And I really did want to share, when the question came up, what were you doing at this stage in your life, meaning sitting out in the seat you are. I'm a graduate of Virginia State University CIAA school, which I love, love, love. And of course, we'll be celebrating next week. But my name is Tammy Green, and I'm the owner and president of Jazz Diva Entertainment. And the Jazz Diva is something that people who love jazz in Charlotte love to call me. And so it stuck. It became a brand for me, and it became a company and became a foundation. So I produce jazz events, concerts, produce them, promote them. Al Jarreau, Boney James, Pieces of a Dream. These are artists that actually I listened to on the college station at Virginia State when I was in school. But just to take it a step back, when I was in your seat, I actually had a child with me, my son Robert. So I came to Virginia State, a teenage mother. So at that time, I had a lot of responsibility. So I couldn't party as much. I had to get my work done, and I had to support my son. But I always had a passion for music. I always had a passion for jazz music, and that was something that I always wanted to pursue. Now, how I got into the entertainment piece was actually an event that I hosted on campus. In between taking care of my son and working at Hardee's, I actually produced an event in school, which I had so much fun, and there was such an energy that I received from just watching the people excited about the event and just the promotion and making it happen and the buzz around the event. That was something that stuck with me, and I had always had it in me to say, one day, once my son is much older and out of high school, I'm going to actually pursue my dream, and I started pursuing Jazz Diva Entertainment over the last 5 to 10 years. So just to answer the question, where I was with my son as a newborn at Virginia State University, but again, my passion and love of music, especially jazz music, started at Virginia State with the actual radio station on campus.
My name is Charles P. Taylor, and a lot of you all know me as Ball Spain. When I was sitting in your exact seats, and I mean your exact seats, because I went to school here at North Carolina A&T State University, and I didn't graduate, but so long ago, what, 2 years ago? Yeah, right, I'm sitting on the panel, it's amazing. I was exactly where, Chris Crenshaw was. I was exactly where B-Man was. I was exactly where Rob Webb was. I was exactly where J.R. Spencer was. I was exactly where Travis Jackson was. I was sitting a little bit closer to the front, though. And that's important to sit in the front. If you don't get anything else, sit in the front. You need to fight to sit in the front. I can see everybody in the front row. When you start going to the back, it's a little hard, a little bit more difficult, but you need to sit in the front row. This is important information that you guys really need to hold on to. But I was doing it. Everything that I'm doing now, you can ask Dee Cherie, you can ask Charles Woodfield, I interned for him. You can ask Walter Lather, I interned for him. I was doing it all in college. I was doing it all at North Carolina A&T State University. And I actually didn't pay attention to A&T the first, 3 years that I was here. Didn't really understand what I had here at North Carolina A&T State University. We have a radio station here. I don't know if you guys know how big that is, but in my first 3 months, in radio, I had interviews with major celebrities. Everybody from The Dream to Jeezy, you name them, we did it. I was over at Bennett College working with people, did an interview. Matter of fact, me and Disha, we were talking about it earlier with MC Light over there, all because I was at the radio station. I helped found a student organization. It was formerly known as SWIM, currently I Am Media, still alive on the campus of North Carolina A&T today. We did that because we wanted to bridge the gap between students and the entertainment industry. One thing that Charles Whitfield told me, and he doesn't know this, but and I was thinking about it, I was so excited when I was going to be on the panel with Charles and with Walter, because they helped really shape where I am today, and they gave me a couple moments. The moment that Charles gave me was over at Bennett College. It was a panel like this, and he said, well, I'm also going to be over at, Bennett College. So I went to Bennett College too. And, I was actually an intern at the time, so I was just soaking up everything he had to say. And one of the things that he did was, he made me stand up. He was like, Charles P. Taylor is Boss Bank. He's one of those people that he grinds, and because he grinds, he can wear those shades. And he's talking about the shades I actually have in my pocket. I still got my shades with me. And Walter Latham, well, that moment that he gave me really let me know, listen, you really need to be yourself. You have to carve out your own niche, and you do that by being unique and true to who you are as an individual. Do not be afraid. That's the moment that Charles Whitfield gave me. Walter Latham gave me another moment. All this is while I'm at A&T now. And I'm interning, and I was like, Walter, I was actually really scared to ask him. I mean, it's Walter Latham, Kings of Comedy, run tell that. And I was interning for him, but I was scared to ask him the question, but I got over it, and I was like, I talked to Yolanda, I was like, well, I need to have a meeting with Walter, because I want to talk to him about something. And she was like, okay, and they set it up. And when I went to the meeting, I actually saw him in the elevator. And that kind of messed up my game, because I wasn't prepared to talk to him in the elevator. I was prepared to talk to him in his office. So I had to do like a little bit of an elevator pitch, but not really. And me and him began to talk about some film projects that I really wanted to work on. And he gave me the best advice of my life. At the end of the day, after he sat down and he was like, he heard all the objections and, the difference between, good film, bad film. And I mean, you can film it on a flip camera, a Sprint phone, whatever. Just look at TV, it's all the same. The audience doesn't really care. He was like, and this is profound now. This is Walter Latham. I mean, they doing $30 million on Kings of Comedy. He look at me and tell me, just do it. And I was a little, like, that's all he gonna tell me is just do it. But you know what? He was absolutely 100% correct. You just do it. If you want it, you go get it. And you don't let anybody, including yourself, because that's your biggest obstacle, yourself. You don't let that stop you. The same things that I was doing in 2 years ago, I'm doing right now. I'm doing it right now, except for, I'm getting a little bit better at it.
I'm Charles Whitfield, who Boss Bank was referring to, and it's actually very refreshing for me to come back. I think I'm a graduate of North Carolina Central, so I know you guys just beat us the other day. So it's all good. I was here a couple weeks ago when we beat y'all, so it's all good. But I'm a product of Central, but I'm also when they said in the beginning, what alumni is in here, I guarantee you my dad is the oldest alumni of A&T sitting in this room right now. And my mom is a product of Bennett College, sitting in here as well. And as I said earlier, you got to thank the people that provide opportunities for you. And my parents provided the opportunity for me. They've been married 56 years. And I moved to LA. I helped start a record label called Hidden Beach, which Jill Scott was the first artist I worked with. But your dreams are right in front of you. I sat in the chairs just like you at Central, but didn't do internships, didn't go to the radio station like he said to take advantage, but I worked hard. I worked at a company called Northwest Financial, which merged with Wells Fargo literally as I was leaving Northwest. The last time I worked in Northwest was in 1998. My employee number was 4798. The reason I can tell you that 12 years later
is that's what I was. I was an employee. I was a number. Great benefits, great salary, but I was a number. But what Wells Fargo Norwest did was shape me and give me discipline. Gave me discipline to work in the entertainment industry, to learn how you have to take your time and manage it correctly or your day will be gone. But what I advise all you guys do is great for me, as Boss Bank was saying, when I first met him, the one thing he would never do was take his shades off. And I said, I'm gonna make it my mission to make you take your shades off, because people need to see your face and they need to see your eyes to really see how serious and sincere you are about your business. He still had the same hustle, but now to come back 2 years later to see someone like him on the stage with the panelists sharing his story is unique. And I would advise all of you guys with the social media, with Facebook, with Twitter, after the end of this is over, don't try and come meet everyone. Listen to people's story and pick the person whose story you would most like to follow yourself or learn from, and try and get in touch with them to not only give you some advice, but be a mentor. Everyone up on this stage is busy doing their own thing. Walter Latham, I remember when he was doing his thing with King's Comedy, it's the biggest comedy tour ever. Then flipped in and did Queens of Comedy. So it's people right on this stage. All these panelists can help shape your life, but you have to take it upon yourself to follow up with them. And don't follow up with them one time. It may take 10 times. But if you're really hungry, it's a guy, JR, in here who's been Joseph. Emailing me, okay, he'll get it correct. Emailing me like crazy. But that kind of follow-up is what makes you remember them when they can come into a panel and come up and speak to you and you know who they are because they followed up with you that many times. So at the end of the day, you're not bothering people. If you're really serious and passionate, you're taking the first step by sitting in here, pick people out at the end of the panel, come up, talk to them, exchange information, go on Twitter, go on Facebook, email them again, and that's how you build a relationship. But pick out 1 or 2 people and follow up. So at the end of the day, to me, like Boss Bank said, you pick me and Walter Latham, who now are 2 people that on the panel sitting up with him, and now he has a story, but not only a story, he has a responsibility to come back and reach and grab some of you guys and help you guys.
We got to understand that we have a lot, we are related to these people in so many ways. You have guys who attended HBCUs, females attended HBCUs, and they're doing positive things in their lives. And we have to reach out to these people because you never know what the next step could be. As you can say, how many graduated seniors we have in here? Right. And we're already too late. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have your job now, we're already too late. So it starts right now. But moving forward, if you know about who's going, anybody heard about this little career fair we have tomorrow? Okay. Anybody in this room going? Okay. How many of us complain that when we go to a career fair at North Carolina A&T, it's nothing but engineering and all that stuff? Shout out to all the engineering majors. But at the same time, shout out, but JONC, why we don't have nothing at this career fair? Have we said that before? Yes. Right. So this, when our career fair is? Right now. When other guests come back to the campus and talk to us, we have to make our own career fair. They don't come to us. We gotta go to them. So y'all have to understand that. But moving right along, this next question we want to offer to 2 or 3 of the panelists. Try to keep it under 2 and 3, 2 minutes, please. We would love to hear your story. We'll be here all night. I would stay. But for the sake of time, we want to keep it under 2 minutes. Describe your personal challenges or obstacles that you have had to overcome. Anybody on the panel? We want to limit to 2 or 3, please.
I'm gonna talk from being a Black woman in entertainment. When I entered entertainment, I started the whole Black woman thing in entertainment. I wasn't taken seriously, and the biggest challenge I had was really finding a woman mentor to mentor to me, because there's certain things that a woman executive in entertainment, and the men up here can attest, there's certain things that a woman executive in entertainment can do and cannot do. Male executives can do a whole lot that we cannot do. And I had to find that mentor to groom me. I was groomed from Bennett, and I was groomed from my parents, but I needed that business grooming. There were 3 that I can count to this day. One of them is Sheila Eldridge, who, along with David Linton, put this together, who, when she first saw me, we have history, but when she first saw me, she said, baby girl, I need to holler at you for a quick second. If you know Sheila, she's very direct, and she would chop you down at the knees. He laughed, right? Okay. So just certain things, how you present yourself, how you carry yourself. You are not the video groupie in entertainment. And if I want any of my brothers on the panel to take me serious as an executive, my dress is going to be different. My speech is going to be different. The way I carry myself is going to be different. They don't need to see my tats all over the place. Outside of the 3, I was fortunate to then get the male mentors. And the male mentors showed me how to do business like a man and not like